Many of you have probably been waiting on this, as have I. But the WNBA All-Star Game ratings have come out, and all I could think of right off the bat was...
With Caitlin Clark sidelined for the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game, the spotlight shifted fast, right onto the rest of the league. No safety net, no built-in buzz, just the players, the product, and the pressure to prove they could stand on their own. This was their shot to show that the hype wasn't just a Caitlin Clark effect.
It's fine to just say, just post the ratings. But like, it is another situation than pretending like Caitlin Clark doesn't exist.
That the league could shine without her. But something strange happened. On the court, they played. Off the court, fans made a much louder statement. And ESPN? They tried to bury it. The ratings are out. And what ESPN isn't telling you, it's more revealing than what they are.
Well, Caitlin Clark has had a remarkable impact on attendance. 35 consecutive sellouts at Carver Hawkeye. The senior average attendance over 14,900.
They're not lying, but they are absolutely spinning. It's not just misleading, it's almost insulting. Because Caitlin Clark fans noticed. They always notice. And this time, it's backfiring big time. So let's break it all down, moment by moment. But first, if you're tired of ESPN's gaslighting, hit that like button and subscribe to her Hoops for no-spin WNBA content. Let's start with the trick they always run, cherry-picking stats. ESPN has this perfected. It's not that they invent fake numbers, they just use the ones that fit the story they want to sell, and quietly leave out the ones that don't.
Noticed or heard about it, but during the game, Caitlin got honored as the WNBA Player of the Year in the ESPYs. Just what does it mean to have her impact so far? I mean, there are a lot of really good players in this league, and she got honored as the best player in the league by the ESPYs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she continues to get new awards. She continues to break barriers. She continues to do things that we haven't seen before. I mean, you know, obviously you think about the Stewie's MVPs of the league, and you know, championship winners, and Asia's MVPs of the league and championship winners, and of course Sue Bird, who was sitting, you know, in the building today. And you know, Caitlin is so fortunate, as well as all these guys, really. I mean, that they don't know anything any different than the WNBA.
Take the 2025 WNBA draft. ESPN hyped the numbers, saying viewership was up 119%. That's massive, right? Until you realize they were comparing it to 2023, not last year. Why? Because 2024 was Caitlin Clark's draft, the one that drew 2.45 million viewers.
The new fans are sucking life out of the WNBA right now.
We'll start with you, Kels, because Lord Jesus, your team and their fans,
Jesus,
they be getting up in everybody's business.
I think so many fans, you know, feel they have the freedom to say whatever they want to us, and unfortunately, there's a lot of nasty things that come with it. You know, they don't have people coming to their job saying these nasty things. So, yeah, we definitely have to protect the players better.
The highest-rated WNBA draft in history. If they compared 2025 to 2024, like any honest media outlet would, they'd have to admit draft ratings were down nearly 49%.
All-Star Game ratings from this past weekend was the second most watched WNBA All-Star Game ever, behind 2024. No surprise there. The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game was the most watched program of the night across all of TV. The night, not the day, with 2.2 million average viewers, up 158% from the 2023 WNBA All-Star Game.
Did you catch it?
That's not a narrative ESPN wants. So what do? Skip the inconvenient truth. This is Marketing 101. You compare year over year, not year over 2 years ago. That's basic. And they know it. Same game, different stage. March Madness 2025. ESPN, again, compared the early rounds to 2023.
Fee, can you just take me inside? I think Captain GM Fee has a nice ring to it. What's your strategy here as you're looking towards this draft?
It does have a nice ring to it. I like this position a lot. I feel like I got to try to get
some of my Hootie Hoo Owl girls on here. I gotta try to get some of my Husky girls on here. So I've got an agenda coming into today.
All right, we got a little bit of an agenda. What about you, Caitlin? What's your strategy here?
I'm going on vibes. Ooh. We're picking whatever comes to mind. We're just having fun. My team's going to be fun. That's all that matters. You get to be in front of the home crowd in Indianapolis.
At first glance, fair. Caitlin was still in college then. But watch what happens once the Final Four arrives. Suddenly, no 2023 comparisons, just vague accolades like third most watched ever. Why stop comparing now? Because 2023 and 2024, the top 2 years, both featured Caitlin Clark in the Final Four. So if ESPN acknowledged those numbers, they'd have to admit what really happened. Viewership dropped by over 10 million. They only compare against Caitlin when her numbers can be beaten. When they can't, silence. That's not journalism, that's public relations. And here's where ESPN keeps blowing it. Because fans, they catch the spin every single time. This is the Streisand effect in action. When you try to hide something, and it ends up getting even more. And it's not just ESPN. The entire WNBA media ecosystem.
4 little letters. F-A-F-O. F around and find out. You bleep around and find out what this league looks like without Caitlin Clark being involved in your biggest events. Kathy Engelbert, this should be a perfect example of why you need to get your officiating cleaned up and you need to have a talk with your players in the league. And nobody's asking you to hold Caitlin Clark's hand.
From league execs to player reps seem scared to just say it. When Caitlin won Time Athlete of the Year, the backlash came instantly. Not because she didn't earn it, but because apparently everyone else deserved it too. Some even argued that the entire league should have been on the cover. Weird. That standard didn't apply when Aja Wilson or Brianna Stewart got featured by Time or SI. Nobody said, "Hey, where's the group shot?" Then, at the ESPYs, Caitlin wins again, and even her own coach couldn't celebrate without immediately pivoting to the rest of the league. Notice the energy? It's like even praise has to be politically negotiated. Why is it so hard for this league to give her flowers, without acting like it's controversial? And then, the fans. The league loves their money, loves their viewership, but suddenly, these fans are too loud, too passionate, too toxic. Apparently, they don't cheer for Paige Beckers because of her activism, or they need Caitlin to draft Angel Reese just to manage the optics. Even the Phoenix Mercury jumped in with a subtle jab, implying Indianapolis wasn't safe for certain players. This isn't just awkward PR, it's hostile toward the very people putting money in the players' pockets. Now let's talk about the real test, the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game. Caitlin Clark is out. She's on the bench. Suddenly, the league has a problem. Can the product sell itself without the face of the league actually playing? Well, the signs came fast. Ticket prices dropped 48% the moment her injury was announced. But then, a flicker of hope. The skills competition and three-point contest. Big win. ESPN said it averaged 1.3 million viewers, up 89% from 2024. That was promising. Maybe the players could carry the weekend. But then came the spin. Again. For the actual All-Star Game, ESPN compared the ratings to 2023. Why? Because 2024, with Caitlin Clark, did 3.4 million viewers. This year, just 2.2 million. A 36% drop, 1.2 million fewer viewers. And ESPN buried it with a flashy headline. Second most watched WNBA All-Star Game ever, which, technically, is true. But the way they framed it, historic viewership, is flat-out misleading. But it didn't stop with the numbers. The players added fuel. They wore "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts during warm-ups, a clear protest about wages and equity. totally fair message. But then, they followed it up with one of the worst All-Star Game performances in memory. And then, Kelsey Plum took the mic. Post-game, she called out Team Clark for not showing up to the protest planning meeting. Not to tattle, but 0 members of Team Clark were present. NBA vet Stacey King said what most fans were thinking. You're fighting for better salaries and still find time to throw shade at Caitlin Clark. Why? And Sabrina Ionescu's facial reaction said everything without saying a word. Here's the part that ESPN won't say out loud. Even with Caitlin Clark just sitting on the bench, the 2025 All-Star Game still pulled 2.2 million viewers, the second highest ever, which proves something massive. Caitlin Clark's presence alone boosts ratings. Now imagine if she had played. Forget matching last year's 3.4 million, it likely would have hit 4 million plus, easily. She's already driven regular season games to over 2.7 million twice. This wasn't just a 36% drop, this was a 50% drop in potential viewership. And ESPN just ignored it. Here's what's wild. The WNBA is growing. Team valuations are up. The new media rights deal is coming. Players will get more money. Owners are ready to invest. But the league is fighting against its own growth driver. Instead of embracing the Caitlin Clark effect, thanking new fans, making space for the momentum, they're gatekeeping it. They're acting like acknowledging Caitlin undermines the rest of the league, when in reality, she's the reason the rest of the league has this spotlight at all. Let's keep it real. If Caitlin Clark had played, this All-Star Game would have crushed records. But even without her, it was still the second most watched All-Star event in WNBA history. That is impressive, and it proves something no amount of spin can hide. Caitlin Clark is the rising tide. She lifts the game, the players, the value, everything. So to the league, to ESPN, to the media, stop fighting the obvious. Stop gaslighting fans. Stop twisting the numbers. Just say the truth. Welcome the fans. Thank them. Build the league with them. And watch what happens next. If you're still watching, drop your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for rocking with Her Hoops. We'll see you next time.